Hello everyone, it's Professor Sadiq Noor, and today I'm gonna demonstrate to you in this video regarding formulas, functions, and formatting in Excel. So the objective of this video is that you're gonna learn about how to use the flash fill, how to enter formula using the keyboard, how to enter formula using the point mode, how to apply the maximum, the minimum, the average functions in Excel, how to verify the formula using range finder, and then how to apply a theme to a workbook, how to format the date in a cell, how to add conditional formatting, how to change the column width and row height, how to check the spelling on a worksheet, how to change the margin headers in a page layout view, and how to print or preview the version and section of a worksheet. So the first, let's open Excel. Excel, I will open it. Always we're going to start with a blank workbook. This is the welcome screen. So I will click on blank. So in this case here, you see these are your tabs where my mouse is indicating. Below the tab is the ribbon. This is the ribbon. This is ribbon. The ribbon consists of groups that has names. As you see here, names. Every group has a names, right? And then this here is the formula bar. Anything that you type in a cell is going to display in a formula bar. If you want to create or insert a function in Excel, we can grab those functions from here too. The check sign and the X means if you want to enter any value to the cell, you will hit the check sign. If you don't want to enter the value, then X. So the next box is the name box. As you see, when I move my cursor, the screen tip tells me that's the name box, right? In Excel, Excel actually is a workbook. The workbook consists of multiple worksheets. It depends how many worksheets you want to create. By default, we have only one worksheet here with sheet one, right? So the worksheet consists of columns and rows. So the rows are represented by numbers, as you see the numbers, and the columns are represented by alphabet, right? So to start the tutorial to show you how to create and then how you gonna uh, enter the formulas, function, and formatting. So the first thing that we're gonna do here is that we have to um, give a title. The title is very much important in Excel. So I will zoom so you're gonna see well. And then I'm gonna type here in A1 Atlas City Spa. Press the enter key. In A2 I'm gonna type employee space sales report. So next now, what we're gonna do, we're gonna enter the column titles, right? So in A5, we're gonna type in A5, we're gonna type employee. You can tap it using the keyboard or use the arrow, the four arrow, the right arrow to go to the right hand side. And then In B5, I'm gonna call the column name as email, and then we have total, and then what we wanna do in here, actually, we wanna wrap it down, the total service amount. So to do that, you will have to hold the Alt key and Enter key. As you see, my cursor move underneath the T. So you have to press the Alt key and the Enter key together. And then we're gonna type service, and then we're gonna say amount. All right. Next, we're gonna type service space. Now the service also we have to wrap it down. So we're gonna say service, and then the Alt key and the Enter key, then service count. Now we're gonna go to E5, and then we're gonna say service, then the Alt key and the Enter key, and then we're gonna say commission, and then in F we're gonna say store, Alt and the Enter key, and then front sales, and then we have in G5 we're gonna type sales. Now hold the control, the Alt and the Enter key, and then type commission, and then press the Enter key. In H5, we're gonna say hours, Alt and the Enter key again to wrap it down, to wrap the text. Next is hourly, Alt and the Enter key. In J, we're gonna say gross, hourly worked, hourly pay rate. In J, we're gonna say gross pay. In K5, we're gonna say gross sales. All right. Now, after we name the title, now we're gonna go to A3, and then we're gonna type pay space period. All right. Now we have to enter the key. So in A3 we typed pay period. Now we have to go to C3, and then we have to type 5-1/29, right? And then we have to go to D3, 5-14-29. All right. Now we will go down And then we're gonna type now in D6. Let's go first to A6. The employee is Binet Alice. We have to leave the email empty right now. So in C6, two twenty two 24,000 2,458.60, right? So when you type 60, so the zero will be cut off, okay? When you press the enter key. So it depends on the number format applied to the cell. Excel might remove the trailing zeros from the cell value, right? Then the service count in D6, we're gonna say 12 for Alice. And then we're gonna type in F, D6, we did that. Now we have to type F6. In F6, we have to type 112.98 for the storefront cells. Then in H6, we have to put 80, so the zeros will cut off. And then in I, the hourly is 20. All right. So 80 was the hour worked and the hourly pay rate is 20. So now we will populate all these. Employee first, Todd, comma, space, Tom. So I will finish up the names first. Gonzalez, Lara. Then we have Jackson, Martha, Jones, comma, Heather. And then I have Martin, comma, base, Neil, comma, Richard, Bartel, Amy, Praise, Sophia, Smith, Michelle, you, Natalie, right? So we're gonna go a little bit up. So we're gonna type now the service, the total services amount. Thirty 36, 53, 2207, 935.12, 730.24, 1468.65, 2254.13, 1008.14. So it looks like I missed one of it, so I will go back and check it out. Which one I missed it? So Michelle should be 1808 14 2254. So you have to be careful. It's gonna messed up. So here now I have to override the number again. So Martin is 935.12, 2207, 34. The this is the one. So I will figure out which one I have missed it. So that one is 436.21, and then third was and then this one was 2 for the perfect. So everything is done. Right. Now we need to put the service count 10, 3, 15, 9, 4, 5, 8, 11, 6, and 9. I will try to zoom it down. Now we're gonna type store front cell 83, 57, 0, 17, 42, 54, 10, 29, 8.69, 21, 02, 83, 25, 42.51, 19.11. So I will go back here now to add up the hour worked for each of the employee. 74, 50, 40, 16.25, 76.75, 72, 39.50. The zero will be cut off until unless you said I want two decimal place, then obviously you're gonna see it. 46.50 again. 80 and then 62.75. Now the hourly pay rate for Tom Todd, 20, 17. So once we have done with that, now is to use one of the Excel feature, that is the flash fill. So the flash fill is very important here in Excel. Is one of the feature that what's gonna happen with the flash fill is that you will give Excel like a sample or a pattern, and it's gonna copy to the rest of the rest of the cells, which I'm gonna show you how to do it for the email, right? So the flash fill is an Excel feature that looks for patterns in the data and automatically fills or format the data in the remaining cells based on those symbol or the pattern that you have provided, right? So let me show you how we will use the flash fill, right? So sometime, for example, if you have 100 or 200 employees say, work in the same organization, so you know that at the ad after the first name and the last name at xyz.com will be the same, right? So instead of typing all these 150, 200 times for each of the employee, I will provide two emails, and then I will fill the same email to the rest of the employees. I don't need to go and type all the emails for all the other employees. So let's do that. So the first thing what I will do, I will just try to increase the size of the column. So then when I will type, so the first thing in B6, I'm gonna say Bennett, BENNET dot Alice at example.com. So that's the first one. Now let me increase the column. So go to the right of the column B, double click it with the split arrow. Now the next one I will say Todd dot Tom at example.com. So example will keep on repeating because that's like the organization name, right? So the problem here is I don't need to go and select all these and type again and again. So what I will do now, I will select this, and then I will go to the data tab, and then I will go to the data tools under the data tab, and then you should see flash fill. Click it. It's done. All right. Because you have given the sample of these two, right? Or you have given the pattern for these two, and then the rest they get it. Look, Martin.Bess, Neil.Richard, right? Perez.Sophia, and so on. So that's one of the feature of Excel that is not gonna allow you to go and type 100 employees email one after the other. Once you have typed it, two of them, just give it the sample, highlight the cell, and then go to the data tab, and then you have to go to the data tools and then click on the flash fill. All right. Next is now we need to enter the row titles, right? So we're gonna go down, and then in A18, we're gonna say total. We are naming the row titles. So total. Then in A19, highest. Then I have lowest, and then just keep on pressing the enter key, and then average. All right. Next. Now we need to change the tab name. All right. So to do that, one way is just you have to double click on the sheet 1, right? As you see, I'm going to the sheet 1 here, and I will double click it to highlight. Now override by sales report and press the enter key. Now we need to change the color of the tab. So you will have to do right click on the cell report sheet, tab color, and we are looking for row 1 and number 10, column number 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So green as in 6. All right. Now we have to save the workbook. So we're gonna go to File, Save. I will hit Browse. I will go to you can save it anywhere you want. So I will go to the desktop, and I created a folder here, Excel lecture. And then I will go here, and then I will call this as SC underscore EX underscore 2 underscore Atlas. And then I will hit save, and it's gonna save another folder, Excel lecture. As you see now, the workbook is no more book 1. It has a specific name, and I saved it to this PC. Right. So the next now is to enter the formula using the keyboard, right? To enter the formula to find out the different cells that we left it empty, like the service commission, sale commission on the gross pay and the gross sales, right? So in column E, we're gonna find out the service commission, right? So we're gonna start with equal. Always, whenever you want to create or you want to enter a formula using the keyboard, you have to start with an equal, open a parenthesis, and then we want to now use the point mode. The point mode is something like you have to point to the cell and you don't need to type the cell. So for example, I will give you one example first without the point mode. So suppose in this case now, to get the service commission, we said equal, open parenthesis, now the total service amount, which is this amount here for Alice. So this 2,458 and 6 cents is under C6. So C6, Excel will highlight that cell, then multiplied by 0.05, close the parentheses, then plus, we are open a parenthesis, and then we are looking for service count, service count, service count, which is this one here, D6. So D6 multiplied by 12 and close the open parenthesis. Now press the enter key, right? Now I will show you the point mode. So now the next we're gonna find out the sell commission for Alice in G6. So we're gonna start with equal. Now I'm gonna use the point mode. So to get the sell commission for Alice, the storefront sales. So look where the storefront, which is here, column F, and is F6, right? See, that's the point. You point to the cell. Instead of typing the cell references, you just point to the cell that involve. Then multiplied by 0.075, right? Press the enter key. Next, we're gonna find out the gross pay for Alice. So equal service commission, service commission, service commission is E6. There you go. Plus sale commission, sale commission, this one here. I'm using the point mode now, just pointing to the cell I wanna use in the formula instead of typing. Plus open a parenthesis. You know, when you have something in a parenthesis, they will be evaluated first. So the hours worked, which is H6, multiplied by the hourly pay rate, which is the 20 for Alice. Close the parenthesis and press the enter key. 1875 and 4 cents. Now the last one is the gross sales. We're gonna start with equal the total service amount, the total service amount, which is C6, right? So I will point to C6 plus the store front sales for Alice, F6, right? And then press the enter key. So the gross sales is 2,571 and 58, right? So the next thing now we're gonna use to copy the formulas using the fill handle. Now we're gonna copy the formula after we found out the service commission for Alice. We found out the sale commission. We found out the gross pay and the gross sale. So it should be easy now to get the sales or any of these now for the other employees. So you will move your cursor to the E6 and you see this square box, not the tick plus I need. I'm moving here. See the bottom square box. Now hold the left key of your mouse and fill it down. It's done. Now for the commission, a sales commission, I will go back, hold the small square box in the bottom, hold it down. Now for these two, I will highlight them like this, and then I will hold the fill handle. So I am done. Everything is done. All right. Now the next is to determine the total using the auto sum. So the next is we have to use the function, the sum function, right? So the function is a built-in, and the sum function is used to sum multiple cells simultaneously to get the total. All right. So in this case, I can go here, and then I will go back here. We want to find the total, right? So what we can do is, because I want to sum all these columns, I can highlight them and I will leave the one I don't want it, right? Like this. Now I will go back to the home, and then all the way under the home, you will see the group name editing, and then you will see the Sigma sign here or the summation sign. You will click the small down arrow and you will hit sum. So that means simultaneously you want to find out the sum of all these column I highlighted, right? So you see in a few seconds everything is done. All right. Now we need to highlight these two, and then I will go back to the editing, and then I will go to the Sigma sign, and then I will click the down black arrow, and then I will hit sum. So simultaneously I find out the sum of all these columns. Now we want to determine the highest number in a range of numbers using the insert function dialog box, right? To determine the highest number in a range of numbers using the insert function dialog box. Now for this one, the max function that displays the highest value in a range, right? Now we're gonna go to C19 here, right? And then we're gonna go to the fx, the insert function, right? I can also do it from here if you go to the editing. Yeah. And then you see here I have the max for highest, min for minimum. The function, the aggregated function are here too. But here I'm gonna show you by using the insert function dialog box. So I'm in C19, right? I'm here. So let me zoom it down. So I'm here now, right? So we want to find out the highest. So let's go to the fx, the insert function. Now in my case, I do have the max. As you see, I can see in the most recently used function, right? So if you don't see the max function, you have to go here And then you can, if you know what category the max falls under, is it stats, is it financial? So you can go to that specific section, right? Stats or financial and so on. If you don't know the function that you want to use falls under what category, then I will prefer you to say just all. And then when you get all the functions in Excel, almost like 300 or so, then you will just click on the M to find out the maximum. So keep on pressing the M until you find the maximum. So I find the min here. So I will go a little bit up. So that's the max here. Click on the max and click OK. Or you can also type here, max. So once I click the max, it's gonna ask you now, where is the number that you wanna find the max from? Is it you wanna find the maximum from C6 all the way to C18? No, I don't want to include 18, C18. It has to end up with C6 all the way to C17. So you can, one way is just you can take out the 18 and replace by 17, overwrite, or you can click on this arrow here, and then you will have to deselect again. You have to select the cells that you need to include for the maximum. Once you see everything look perfect, you will click this down arrow here, and then Excel is so nice that it shows you the number that you want to find the maximum from, and it tells you that the maximum value is 3,306 and 53 cents. Now I will click OK. So we got it, right? Now we kind find the minimum. So to determine the lowest number in a range of number using the sum menu, right? The min function is used to find for us the minimum value in a specific range, right? In a selection of a range or cells you want to find the minimum from. But this time we have to determine the lowest number in a range of numbers using the sum menu, right? So I'm now in C20. C20 is what? The lowest, right? So we're gonna go to editing under the home, editing group, and then I can click on this, the sum menu, and then look for minimum. All right. Now it asks you, is it the range good? Is that what you want to find the minimum from? No, it has to start. So you will go back, you will move your cursor inside the C6, hold the left key, and highlight the cells that you need to include for the minimum. So you need from C6 all the way to C17. When you see everything look perfect, just press the enter key. So the minimum is 300. All right. Now the third one, we're gonna find now the average, right? The average. Now to find the average, we're gonna determine the average of range of number using the keyboard, all right? So to do that, we're gonna do the average function in Excel is a function that calculates the average value of a collection of numbers, right? To calculate the average value of a collection of numbers. Now, why do we need the average here? The average function calculate the average of range of numbers, right? So in C21, now the book says, show the student this way, how to do it. One way was I can go to the sum menu and you see the average, the second function, right? Or I can go to the fx insert function And then I can find the average under the A's. So just scroll down until you see the average. Average is here, right? But the lesson here, I want to show you the third way that you can activate the function. You could start with the equal AV. When you put AV, which is for average, the second one is the function you are looking at, average. So you're gonna double click it. Now you see the screen tip here for the average function. It's showing me the arguments. So the first in dark is number one. Where is the first number of range of numbers that you want to find the average from, right? So in this case, I'm gonna go and select C6 for Alex all the way to Natalie, which is C17. As you see, the dark is number one now. So then I will close the parentheses and then I will press the enter key. So the average is 1643.33. Now we want to copy the range of cell across the column to an adjacent range using the fill handle, right? To do that, we're gonna select C19, C20, all the way to C21, hold the fill handle, and just select the whole thing. Perfect. Now, how to verify the formula or verifying a formula using range finder. One of the more common mistake made with Excel is to include an incorrect cell reference in a formula. An easy way to verify that the formula reference the cell you want to be in the reference is to use the range finder. So the range finder actually is going to check which cell are referred in the formula assigned to the active cell. So if you want to see which cells or references of the cell have been involved in this formula. So, for example, why do we need to verify a formula using rangefinder? The rangefinder allows you to correct the mistakes by making quick changes to the cell referenced in a formula. Now to show you, let's go to E6. E6. So this is E6 here. I will double click it. So that means I'm using the rangefinder, double click. So that's the rangefinder. It's telling me what is involved in here. So the C6 is involved and D6, and they are in a different color. Red, D6 is represented in red, which is the service count, and then the other one is your total service amount in blue color. So now if you wanna, if you don't wanna see it anymore, or you wanna just hide it, or so what you're gonna do, you have to press the escape key. The escape key is very much important in here in Excel. So if you don't want it anymore, so push the escape key. Escape key is one of the key in keyboard in your keyboard, which is the first key actually in the top of your keyboard, the escape key, right? So you have to press it to deselect. Now, after the rangefinder, now we need to format the worksheet. So the first thing is that we're gonna use a theme. A theme is a format, a worksheet by applying a collection of font styles, colors, and effects to give it consistent appearance. We use the theme. So the first thing is before we do anything, we want to change the workbook theme, right? So actually, why do we need to change the theme of a workbook? A company or department might choose a specific theme as their standard theme so that all of their document have a similar appearance. Similarly, you might want to have a theme that sets your work apart from the work of others. Now, to do that, we have to go to page layout and then page layout, and then the first group is the themes, and then we are looking for slice. So click the down arrow and look for slice. As you see, when I'm moving my cursor over the different kinds of theme, my font, my color is changing according to the theme. So we're gonna stick with the slice. So click on the slice, select the slice. As you see, my font change accordingly, right? Okay, everything changed accordingly, according to the slice. After that, the next thing we need is to format the title of the worksheet, right? So the first thing is we have to select A1 and A2. So go up, A1 and A2. And then we have to go back to the home. We have to go to the styles, the style group here, and then click on the set styles. And then we are looking for the title style. Title, right? Now let's select the A2 because we want to decrease the font size, right? So we will click on these here under the font group. The second group under the home is the font, and A with a cap, that's decrease. Click it, right? So we clicked it, and then we change this to 16. As you see, the size 16 now. So the next thing we want to do now is we have to select D3 all the way to A3 all the way to D3, and then we have to go back to the cell style here, and then we have to click on heading 3. Now if you think that you have this hash here, just go here and double click it to stretch the column. Okay. Next, so now to change the background color of a worksheet header, the header worksheet we have to change it now, right? A background color can draw attention to the title of a worksheet. So to do that, we have to select A1 all the way to A3, A1 all the way to D3, right? And then we have to go to the font, the yellow bucket, click on it. And then we are looking for the row number 3. So 1, 2, 3. And we are looking for number 3. So that's the one, right? Let's see again. Let me check again the color. It looks this one. Dark SN4, lighter 60. That's the one. So click on it. Next is now to apply the cell style to the column headings and format the total row. All right. So to do that, we have to select A5 all the way to K5. A5 all the way to K5. And then we have to go back to the sales styles. And then we have to choose heading 3. And then we have to also center it. Go to the alignment group and then center, right? And then we have to select A13, A18, A18, all the way to K18. And then we have to go back to the set style and we have to choose the total, right? Now select A19 all the way to A21 and we have to go back to the font and B for boldface. All right. Next is to format the dates and center the data in a cell. All right. So what we want to do now is we have to select the date. So this one here, C3 all the way to D3. Then we will go to the number group under the home, click the small arrow here, which is the launcher. It's gonna pull up the format cells. And then we will be under the category date. And then we are looking for, I'm looking for this format 31412 and then click OK. As you see, the format of the date has changed. All right. Now, the next one we want to do is we want to center D6 all the way to D18. Now, after we center D6 all the way to D18, now the next is to apply an accounting number format and comma style format using the ribbon. Now to do that, we have to select C6. Now we have to hold the control key because we have to select a non-adjacent cell. So hold the control and then select E6 and then select all the way to G, E6 all the way to G6. Like you're gonna select, let me do it again. Select C6. Now hold the control key. Select E6 all the way to G6. Then we want to select I6, I6, I6. Let me do it. That's very careful you have to be. So select these again. Hold the control. Select A6 all the way to G6. Then we are looking for I6 all the way to K6. Now release your finger from the control key. Now we have to click on going to the number group and then we will use the dollar amount. As you see, the dollar amount when we select it, it changed to accounting. All right. Now the next is we have to select, the next one we want to do is we have to select C7 all the way to C17. Then we have to hold the control key and select E7 all the way to K17. Release your finger from the control key, and also you have to hold the control key again. So let me do it again. Select E6, select C7 all the way to 17 here. Then hold the control key. Select E6 all the way to K. Still hold the control key. And select H6. H6 is already been, we already selected. Now from here, we have to give it the comma. So go back to the number group, click on the comma, right? The comma. Now select 18 all the way to this. And then we have to use the next one is that we're gonna use the dollar amount from here, right? Or you can do right click and then you will go to format cell. You will go to currency and then you will select this and then okay. So it's gonna be like a floating dollar sign. You see the dollar sign is not too far away from the left of the amount as compared to the one above in C6, E6, F6. You see there's a gap between the dollar sign and the amount. All right. Now let's select now D19. D19 all the way to D21. Hold the control key. Select H19. I have to do it again. Click on D19 all the way to D21. Hold the control H19 all the way to H19, H21. Now we need to give a comma style. Comma style. All right. A comma style. So we need to add this one also. So highlight I all the way to, and then give it the comma style. Perfect. It's from H19 all the way to I21 actually. Now to apply the currency style format with a floating dollar sign using using the format cells dialog box. All right. So next now is to apply the currency style format with a floating dollar sign that I showed you earlier. Because what happened is that if you use the floating dollar sign, right, the currency format cells places the dollar sign quickly to the left of the number, as I showed you earlier. This one, you see the difference here? This one, the dollar is so close to the amount, whereas this one here, here is a gap. So to do that, already I showed you earlier, so let me do it again. So highlight C21 all the way to K, all the way to K21, right? So to do that, actually the book says we have to select C19, 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 all the way to C21. Hold the control key, select E19. I have to do it again. C19 all the way to C21. Hold the control key and select E19, E19 all the way to G19. And then we have to select J19 all the way to K19. All right. Now we have to use the floating dollar, right? So to do that, you will highlight or you will do right click on the any of the selected cell, or I can just go here like this, and then I can go to currency, and then I will select the second last one, this one. If I have a negative value, they're gonna be in a parenthesis with a black color, and then I will say okay, right? Or you can just do right click, format cells, and then currency, this one, and as you see here, I have the format cell, the same thing. So the difference here you have noticed is that I have the dollar amount quickly after the value. As you see, there's no gap, right? Now the next is conditional formatting. Conditional formatting is a special formatting. The font color, the background fill, and other option that is applied if the cell value meet specific criteria or condition. For example, if your boss says, can you highlight all the students whose average is less than 60 in a red color and boldface those averages. So in this case, it's gonna make it highlighted, and it's gonna show us that these are the list of students who have less than 60 is their averages with the help of the conditional formatting. Or what if your boss says, can you show me all the employees who make more than 70,000 from the rest of the employees? So we're gonna use the conditional formatting. So to use the conditional formatting, we have to select D6 all the way to D17, right? And then we're gonna go to the Home tab. You will see the Styles group, and then you will see conditional formatting. Click on it. And then we're gonna go to New Rules. And then we're gonna select this. These are all the rules. We're gonna select the second rule, format only cell that contain, right? And then we're gonna say less than the cell value, not between, less than what? 5, right? Less than 5. Then what we wanna do? We will hit the format here. So we're gonna make it different from the rest of the cells. So format, and then we are in the font tab, and then we're gonna make it to be boldface, and then we will go to the fill, and then we will select this color here, the desired color, whatever color you like. So this, right? And then we will click OK. And then we're gonna click OK to apply the new formatting rules. If the service count is less than 5, so click OK. Now these are the ones that satisfy your condition, your criteria. You set the value from D6 all the way to D17, that the value has to be less than the one that's less than 5. Highlight them in brown, light brown color, and the text has to be boldface from the rest of the values, right? Now, the next thing we want to do is we have to use the formatting again. So let's highlight H6, which is the hour worked, all the way to H17. And then we're gonna go back to the style group, conditional formatting. We're gonna go to new rules, format the cell that contain, right? And then we will say here in this area, we will say greater, right? So we're gonna say greater than 70, right? And then we will go to the formation here, and then we're gonna go to the font. We will make them boldface, and then we're gonna say okay. Sorry, we're gonna go to the fill tab, and then we're gonna go to 1, 2, 3, 4, and column number 3. This one here, and then I will say okay, and then I'm gonna say okay. Now let's click anywhere to see did that satisfy the condition. It does. As you see that those cells is only been highlighted that satisfy the condition. All right. Now the next one we can do is to change the column width. All right. So what we want to do in this case is either you can double click the cell to stretch it, like this one here, the column B, and you could do double click, or you can select, right? And then you will go to the home tab. You will go to format the cell group, format, and then you're gonna say auto fit the column. Auto fit the column. That's like the best fit, right? Now also you can do is that we can point to the right of the column A. Oh, look. You can also do like this, right? Now, for example, in this case, you can point to the right boundary of the column A above the row 1 when the pointer changes to split, and then you're gonna just stretch it until it becomes 16.30, right? So you can either do this way. Now we have to select C, click on the C column, then hold the control key, select the column. Let me do it again. Control, and then we want F. Let me do it again. Let me try again. Here, then. Now, if you hit the shift key, it's gonna select the middle one, so we don't want the middle. So let's try again here. Hold the control key, select, select, select the G column, and then we have to select all the way to H. Mistakenly, my finger is in the right hand, so that's why I deselected. So obviously, select this here. I'm clicking all the columns. There you go. Now I can go to the format the cells here. I can go to column width, and then automatically I will change all these columns. So 13.30, and then I will click OK. So simultaneously all the column that you have selected is been changed to 13.30. Now we can also select the D column and the H column, and then you can specify, so D column, and then hold the control key and select the H, right? And then we want to make the width to be 10. So now I will drag it. Let's try if we cannot drag it. Look at the screen tip. It was 10 actually. A little bit quicker. Here you go, 10. So both of them has been dragged to 10 inches. Now changing the row height. You can also increase or decrease the height of a row manually to improve the appearance of your worksheet. So to do that, we need to point to row 5. That's row 5 here. And then we want to drag it to become 37. So let's see what is now. Now it's 42. So just drag it up. It has to be 37. 3720. Perfect. Now we have to select, or we have to point to row number 19. here. And then we have to drag it to 24. So click. Now is not 24. It's 14, so make it 20. Now let me zoom it down so you could see so far. This is what we come up with, right? Everything look perfect. Now, the next thing we want to do, we're gonna also check the spelling. Spelling checker you can use to check the worksheet for splitting a spelling error, sorry. If there's any spelling error, it's gonna tell us if there's any problem there. So we're gonna go to A1. We're gonna go to review. The first group is proofing, spelling. So here it says Gonzalez is wrong. So we wanna keep it as what we said. So Gonzalez. All right, so I will say change it. Let's change it. Gonzalez. So if you want to keep it the same thing, you will say ignore. So there's no more error. Next, you can also press F7. Now printing the worksheet. And also we're gonna add the header. A header is a text and graphic that print at the top of each page, whereas the footer is a text and graphic that print at the bottom of each page. All right. So the first thing we want to do is that we're gonna go to page layout, and then so also the margins are the space between the page content and the edges of the page. So the current worksheet is too wide for a single page and require landscape orientation to fit on one page in a readable manner, right? So to do that, let's go to the margin here, and then we have to click on narrow. As you see, normal, so narrow. We make it narrow. And then we have to click on the header, right? So for this one now, what we want to do actually, we have to display the header area, right? So to do that, one way is you could change the display to page layout, like here. And then you see now I am in the header, right? So in the header, I will type Santana more, and then press the enter key. Accounting. So that will complete the worksheet header, right? Now we have to click to get out of the header and footer. We have to click F5 like this, right? And then the next thing we want to do is we will go to the page layout, orientation. Instead of portrait, we're gonna make a landscape, right? And then we will go back and see what's gonna look like when you want to print your worksheet. So if you want to change the layout of your worksheet, so now I'm in a page layout, so I can change it to normal, right? So we are back to normal. So if you clicked it, page layout is gonna be this. If you want to get back to normal, just hit normal, or you can go to view. You see page layout view I'm in now, so normal, right? And then I will click home. Now we're gonna go to file. So we are back to the backstage when I hit the file. So that's the backstage. Now we're gonna hit print. As you see that everything is not visible. Some of it is cutting off. So what we want to do here is that we're gonna go down here where it says no scaling, right? So you will click here, then you will choose the option that says fit the sheet on one page. Now I can see everything perfect, all right? So if I go back, and you can also, if you want, you can highlight this. You can make it boldface to make it more nice. Now, if you select A5 all the way to E21, like this one, my selection. So I can go to File, Print. It's not showing me because the setting is Print the active sheet, right? So you will go here and you will choose Print Selection. So that's what you selected, right? Next, displaying the and printing the formula version of the worksheet. The formula version is useful for debugging a worksheet. Debugging is the process of finding and correcting errors in the worksheet, right? So to do that, I will change this back to active. I will hit the back arrow. So for example, now here, if something is cutting off, we can increase it a little bit. So actually this one should, there you go. So you have to manipulate it until you see everything look perfect. Then you can changing accordingly. So what we want to do is now sometime I might feel that, oh, it looks like this guy is wrong, my formula is wrong. I want to correct. I want to see what I did wrong, right? So you're gonna go to formulas, and then you see the formula auditing. You will click on show formulas, show formulas. Now this is all the formulas involving it. So I can debug any of the error that I have. So I can go to file, I can hit print. It's gonna print all this as you see. So from here I can debug and I can fix any formula that looks that there is an error in it, right? Now I can go back here, and then also you can go to page layout, and then also you're gonna go to fit to scale, and then you gonna do fit to, because I used it, fit to one sheet under the print, right? So you can also do it from here. And then I can click OK. Now, once you have printed out, now you want to change it back to normal. Just you will go back to formulas. You will go back to formula auditing, and then you will click on show formula. You will deselect the show formula to get it back to what it was. All right. And then, and that's it. So I hope that you have learned about uh, how to use the formulas and functions and how to format your worksheet to look perfect, right? So in this case, you learn about using keyboard formula by using your keyboard, how you're gonna construct a formula. So I hope that you like the video. So be sure that you subscribe to my channel and also like my channel so that I can create more nice videos for you. Thank you and have a nice day.